Okay, you guys. Just the prelude video, just trying to hold your hand through the upcoming Sun conjunct Pluto. You see, I'm a Plutonian person. Officially, I'm a Plutonian person. Sorry, a lot of times I fumble with my affirmations, and I never look at them. But I'm going to just remind us, it's okay. So I already know I've been doing this for a while. It's 20th that the Sun does an auspicious conjunction to Pluto at 29 degrees just before Pluto enters into Aquarius 2 days later. And so, but the Sun is still going, it kind of moves forward and goes first into Aquarius. And it reminds me of how Leo is, because Leo rules, Sun rules the Leo, and so it's very flashy, right? It's the Sun, it's just this bright, it's too bright. It's like, what is going on after a while? We can't see. Well, Pluto is dancing into Aquarius, and now at the same time, we're getting closer to this. Now, I want to stick to when I'm trying to talk about the Pluto energy and the Sun conjunct Pluto. It's actually, well, some people think it's a really heavy energy. It's potent is the real word. I was born with Pluto conjunct Sun, conjunct Mars, and I'm Mars ruled. So that right there is just, I might as well have said, any astrologer says, it's like, well, that person is not only a nuclear powerhouse, but it's more like that has found fusion. It's a new energy. It's an eternal vat to access of energy to access, because of the Pluto there infused with Mars. That, as Scorpio says, I wish, because Mars used to be ruled by, Mars is ruled Mars rules Aries first off, and then it used to rule Scorpio until they found Pluto. So you take all of that kind of Martian energy away from Scorpio, and Pluto has its own vibe. It's the same as Scorpio, and it's very mystical, very mysterious. It's cold though. It's not as hot, baby. Mars rules the sex drive, the root chakra, but the co-ruler of it also does, of course, Scorpio. Scorpio has a very in-depth look into it. It's like, good God, can you just get the basics down at least? It could be too much of a trip, right? If you don't want too much of a trip with hello, narcissist. Anyway, a lot of people do accuse the Aries of being narcissist. Anyway, I was trying to talk about that. Now that's something that comes up with the Sun conjunct Pluto is with Pluto is the sex drive. It's Scorpio. It's the whole transformation thing. Like, what is going to come out of it? Life, possibly. We have yet to see it. Just kidding. What I mean is, we have yet to. Anyway, trying to stick to the subject matter. I'm here to hold your hand through the times. It might be really intense. A lot of people cannot handle the Pluto energy, which is Scorpio. Once again, it's like, well, what is Halloween all about? There's people that do not wear a witch's costume. They do not wear a skeleton's costume. They do not even know what the season is pointing at. Like, astrologically, that's exactly what it is. It's fascinating. And they will wear, instead of all of those costumes, they wear a tutu, or they take the opportunity to dress up like just a political person. But maybe that's a good zombie costume. Yes. Anyway, um, getting closer here, just kind of, we're tearing through, and babes, we are barreling through. We're going to go into uncharted territory pretty soon. We've been doing retrogrades and stuff, and the last planet to stop retrograde is Uranus, and this Uranus thing that's going to happen is a if there is any change that needs to happen, that's it. The Uranus is going to say now it's time to move forward with all of the things that are like hanging that says change or not, and it's like yep, and especially now it's going to take a while. Uranus is being very soft. It does. It's a 7-year thing that happens. And so we looked at it. I was now not as much, but we need to start looking at Uranus. Um, and boy, where's my glasses? Sorry. How do you like my shirt? I'm gonna start changing shirts. It just takes 30 seconds, and I have all these. Right? You have some clothes that I never wear. Um, why not? It'd be kind of funny. I'm kind of weird with clothes myself. I don't think that they're necessary. I think that was one of the first um, methods of social distancing. And then whatever works, just keep doing it. Anyway, back to Uranus, going to make these changes when it starts moving forward and direct and everything else. I mean, I can really study this and look and see, like, because we still have Mercury in its retrograde shadow. It has yet to go back in. It's going to go into Capricorn, and I'm fine with the Capricorn when it gets into the later degree. See, that's why I'm here, like, with this, like, well, I'm a transformation. I claim transformational guru, and it's time for humanity to transform. There could be somebody having a really hard time with we're talking about the ascension symptoms. I think I'm going through that, which is, well, basically, it's like if you can't transcend bullshit, you're going to get sick. God's going to say that's not a good idea. The things you can live on that, and then you're going to get. And it's not even God saying that, babes. It's the truth. Truth and God are one. Can we work out our words a little bit? Or are you at heist? At heist. Atheist. Sorry, atheist. ATH. Darn, is it I before E or is it E before I? Yeah, it's at heist. Did you notice the word? Just take that. It's not a real word, atheist. Take it apart. You've been robbed. You've been robbed of just about every bit of your intellectual property and your spiritual belongings or possibility of belongings. Now, I say possibility. I was going to hide behind the fact that I'm a woman and say, I'm speaking for women. I know that we have something accessible to. But it's a lot more interesting than that. If we want to look at what's going on, and it's interesting. See, the organism has two sides to it. Scientifically, just two, for whatever reason, it's very interesting. But I'm getting glimpses of things, and so I'm making this video on the same days that Mercury is pulling away from the galactic center, which is 27 degrees. And I have gotten so many just refining and seeing visions of the body of work that I'm about to process out. And it's been difficult. But all of that difficulty is a study on it's like, well, this is what's going on when the human organism is on a collective scale now, very much so, folks. Your SM, social media, it's been how long now that it's been here? It's been a long time, and I have not been on it that long at all, since just only the 2016, and I know, well, you see, I remember when it came on first in 1991, 92, it was 90, 91, 92, when I saw the first green screen. My boyfriend at the time was a computer programmer, and he was putting together motherboards. And I remember the phone modem, right? And hooking into people with chat rooms that was just a green screen, meaning that was just a chat room talking. And I remember I was going on it then and telling stories and stuff and making at least him laugh, you know. And I didn't realize it's like, well, you don't go in one room and talk about one thing and then go to another one. It's just not the same subject matter. I was terrible. But I hung that up. I remember it was by 1995 or 96, I hung that all computers up and I went out into the wilderness basically, generally, and listened to waterfall and just meditating and asking questions. Though I can hear the world, I can see the chemtrails, and I'm like, I really need to find out what is going on. I had a lot of questions, but the truth is, when you have questions, the truth is that you found something already. It's the answer. You just need confirmation. And that's what I use the internet for. And I don't know about you babes, but it's because that there is the exposure of it. It's not a reflection of reality, but it tells of, you can see through the camera. There's no doubt that you can see. Everybody has a camera to point at the sky and see the same thing, basically, yes. Unless they have, this is very metaphoric of just a human being, you know. It's like, unless they have a foggy lens filter, that's the mind, you would say, and then they're saying, no, this is it, or something, maybe. Yeah, everybody would agree. Why? I don't know. Maybe it's safer to just close it off, and yeah, look at the flickering light over there, but helping you go through, see that this transformation about, see what Pluto does is it happens to just, it talk about the sifting. This is the first thing that's going to be happening. It's like, that's really gracious. I'm going to go to work on sifting humanity itself. It is a discipline to know Pluto and sit next to Pluto as the Sun and Pluto. Conjunction. If it's the square, see, means like it's still interacting with Pluto. What I meant is not the conjunction. When it sits with Pluto, somehow that person who was born with that qualifies to penetrate and be and have that. See, it's the Sun with the red pill in it, Pluto. And see, now it depends. Like, here I am with the Sun, Venus ruled, and it's like, yeah, no, I'm very Plutonian. I'm gonna start lighting up too with the fact that, okay, so on the 20th, and by the time, see, the Sun has a bigger orb. It's called an orb because it has a radiation. So does the Moon. With regards to the degrees, when it's traveling at 30 degrees per sign, 12 times, there's an orb that an aspect, they allowed to call it an aspect between a planet, a square, a trine, an opposition, or a conjunction. The conjunction is interesting, right? Because now we're looking at exact 29 and 29 degrees, 0 orb degrees, and then there's an orb that goes out, like meaning that the radiation of the planet is still there, and so some people give it 15 degrees with the Sun. So when I do that, it's just a closer look. You can see when Mars actually comes out of Kanzimi, when it's in Capricorn, for everybody, it's going to be such a kick in the ass, because first of all, Mars in Capricorn it's the most productive place for the army captain taskmaster combination that has all the artillery now and says, we're going to move and do this, and it's good, it's just productive, but not everybody's used to that, right? A lot of Mars people are going to wake up, and it's a big be careful for my generation, because it's a square to the Pluto. Their Plutos, my Pluto, I'm having a Mars aspect with the collective here. That's why I say I am humanity. Somehow it's just like, yeah, because all of my outer planets, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, they have a personal planet involvement that is intense. I have a Mercury conjunct Uranus. I have a Pluto, Sun, Mars conjunction with it opposing my ascendant. And then my ascendant is trine Neptune. Trine part of fortune, that's creating a beautiful grand trine. I'm supposed to see this Neptune thing that's coming up to trine my to conjunct my, it's just the most intense, once in a lifetime thing. You don't miss it and you have to surrender. And I'm pretty much, I think I'm well practiced already in spacing completely out and being an entertainer, light entertainer of something of a high spiritual nature. Actually, there's something refining and it's going to happen. It's going to fucking happen. And I'm going to put a little, I'm going to spoil it by putting a little hat donation of money up. No, I'm not going to worry about it. By this time, it's actually already happening. I'm not going to have to worry about money. If I'm going to see when if now I'm getting into my Neptunian, my Venus Neptune affliction is like, am I worthy or blah blah blah. It's like, no, this is going to unfold whether I like it or not. Having gone through all this stuff and really something keeps telling me no. This is whether you know it, like it or not, Shauna. You are chosen, hun. Lucky you. You're just an instrument. It's like, well, take me. Who doesn't feel that way? It's like, what am I supposed to do here? Oh, there is a God. You're going to use me like a little scratcher? Yeah, I am going to put my hand in you, and now we're going to tool about. Do you like this? Fuck yeah, just take it, baby. I love you. I love you. That's all you have to do is keep saying I love you, and God will say, wow, we love you too. I mean, it's just a vibrational alignment, frequency. You're loving yourself, by the way. There isn't anything separate from you. I know that I'm talking, there's my higher self up there. What is it doing down here? I question it often from up there. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? I'm like, I think I hear you. What's going on? How bad can you get? You can wear, like, see, I never wear this shirt. This shirt is not even a shirt. It's something that, I don't know what it is. It goes all the way down and it doesn't really show off in the camera at all. It's getting back to trying to hold your hand through the transition. If there's ever a rebirth happening to mankind, both of them, the organism, the human organism, it's very much uh, pertaining to Aquarius, which points at the science behind all science, first of all, and say, okay, so that's the heart technology. We have Valentine's Day around Aquarius. I told people this before. For a reason, because that's the season of the heart, electromagnetic resonator that interacts with the plasmatic field. And see, there's a thing going on here that we can have a lot of things, but it could be so much different than what we have it going on now. And is that any of our business? I think it is, because there's sanctuary. I want sanctuary, don't you? I want sanctuary. What about Quasimodo? Do you need sanctuary, my friend? Thanks for listening to this. It's 18 minutes. I'm getting to, I think I'm going to post this when? Oh, I'm going to post this, I'll make it a video that gets near the 20th or right before, even though I have a video there already. I'm trying to sparse it out one video at a time, longer videos. We are all going to refine with the fact that Pluto is going to start sifting. And the only thing that's going to work to remain buoyant during this time, and this is the Libra generation call, which finally is going to emerge with a gasp of fresh air with the Aquarius vibration that Pluto offers, just nothing but great. At the same time, babes, Libra actually, you see, rules in our universe. We are dealing with, on this planet, we deal with war, and it points at the war general, the tactful war general, the taskmaster, Saturn co-ruler, Venus, that is more tactful than the Aries. Aries can always learn something from Pluto. I mean, from Libra. That's the first opposition in astrology is the seventh sign after the sixth one. Boom, opposes Aries. And it's the first realization of the other, which Libra rules, this polarity of the love. It says, I love. It just has to say, we are one. I don't see an other there. That's the only way it's going to work. And then also, but see, now it's eye balance, which is another thing. Is like, well, of course, if you tip it this way, one goes up, and if you tip it that way, one goes down. So what? How do we remain a balance here? That's what the self-organizing system is all about. Now, there's a self-organizing system called love, and then music is definitely pointing at that. Like how does it work? Well, it's harmonious. It's beautiful. Anyway, goodness. And so, but then there's AI that is a synthetic version of that algorithmic playing that is able to sift through anything and everything, and yeah, it's in the process, and it has been stealing all of our information now. Um, it, uh, in in storing all of it and becoming that from the mainframe of the human brain, which is there's one box, I think it's at CERN or something, that all of our information, every bit of it from the very beginning, especially computerized, quantum computerization, that's what the whole point is. It keeps reducing down because they keep quantifying it, and then but it starts out right a long time ago. What was it, 30 years ago or something? A big box, a box. It's a massive box somewhere that's hooking in, and the more that it gets easier to just talk about free information highway, really is that's really what they're talking about. And you had your chance to see a lot that it was agreement as far as intergalactic monitor to allow to actually do what the organism has a right to do, which is to remain silent through the filtering. Through not It's not a filter, you just the camera. When you point at the sky, you see the same thing. I mean, you don't put filters on, but they're more and more they're doing that now. You have Meta, they're starting to do this, increasing more and more. It's like, God, when this is going to make everybody sick, because they don't know the difference between a picture. They don't realize that not a single picture is a depiction of you. I don't care how clear and HD it is and how recent that you've taken that fucking picture. A 5-year-old can explain to you, yes, if this is the picture of me, yes, Shauna, this is the fresh picture out of a Kodak film or whatever, a Polaroid. Spits it out. Now that's the picture of you, and this is me. Which one is me? The picture or me? Do you get it? Good. And then what about, fact checking that one from a false information field? Let's see if the false information field about the false information field is real according to a false information field. Thank you. This is very important. I'm going to end this. It's so important. I'm going to end it at 2255.